Hi everyone, welcome back to the Better You podcast. How is everyone doing? We are nearly close to the end of 2025. Just a quick disclaimer, this episode is slightly more vulnerable and personal than others. It's about restarting at 25, moving home, facing fears, and embracing new beginnings with hope. I hope this episode empowers you and gives you inspiration. It's also a personal milestone for me, a way to appreciate how far I've come and how strong I've remained throughout this stage of my life. Today, I want to share with you how I've transformed temporary changes in my life into strength and hope, and why you can and should too if you're facing similar changes and feeling lost or scared yourself. I've moved back to my home country recently, and if you know my story personally, you will know I was going through a rough time in my life. It's been a hectic past month, relocating, adapting to a new lifestyle, and finding myself again. Everything happened so fast, and I finally gotten used to things. But I think the hardest part was saying goodbye to the memories I made in the UK, the friendships I've built, and my independence. But things don't always go as planned, and that's life, right? Sometimes things happen beyond our control, and you may feel useless or like the unluckiest person, questioning why me. But think of it as a redirection from God. As they say, when one door closes, 10 others open. I look forward to those 10 doors that will open, and I hope that thought motivates you to keep moving forward. It may also be God's way of protecting you. It might not make sense now, but what you can do is accept reality and find ways to get back up. Later down the road, it will make sense why. You'll be grateful to God for the person you've become and why everything else didn't work out before. Because through this journey, I've become much stronger. I can't predict what the future holds, but personally, I'm curious about what God has planned for me. 3 years ago, when I started working, I imagined myself settling down in the UK by now, qualified as a chartered accountant and married. But I haven't achieved any of these things yet, and that doesn't mean I failed. Over the past month, I've questioned myself with many what ifs and whys. But no matter how hard things felt, the one thing I kept doing was showing up for myself every single day. It's a promise I made to myself. No matter how many tears I shed or how many negative self talks I had, I continuously made the effort to self soothe and encourage myself. Because if you don't love yourself, who else will? Yes, I'm surrounded by loving friends and family, which I'm so grateful for. But it wasn't until I truly trusted myself and valued my own capabilities that's when I stopped feeling empty inside. So ground yourself, journal, go to therapy, sit with your feelings, acknowledge them, and encourage yourself. Repeat that cycle. The last person who should ever think of giving up on you is you. I've been away from home for 6 years. When I first returned home, I was scared. It felt like I was stuck between two countries. I've been away long enough that Malaysia doesn't really feel like home anymore, but I haven't stayed in the UK long enough to call it a place where I truly belong. So yes, I felt lost at first. What helped me and what I encourage those in a similar boat to do is to reconnect with old friends and make new ones. Reconnect with childhood friends, friends from college, or make new friends at work or in social spaces. It's so important to surround yourself with people who are positive and welcoming, especially when you're feeling lost yourself. I still check in with my friends in the UK, and I'm so grateful for those who still reach out to check on me. Distance won't keep us apart, and I will always cherish the friendships I've made in the UK. The UK will always hold a special place in my heart. It's a place of many firsts, and that's why leaving it behind was so hard. It's where I first left home to go to university at the young age of 19. I had never left home before that alone, not even for trips with friends overseas. It was truly life changing where I got to experience being independent for the first time. The UK is also where I experienced my first love, my first job, and my first heartbreak. But I'm grateful for it all because through those beautiful and painful experiences, I became stronger and more mature. Now, I'm able to navigate life with a calmness I didn't have as that naive 19-year-old. The experience I've gained in the UK were blessings, and it's a chapter I will always keep close to my heart. Life moves on and it's scary because we don't know what our future will look like. But I want you to shift that mindset for a moment. Let that uncertainty be something you look forward to. Let it be your reason to keep moving. So in 5 years' time, you can look back and thank yourself for staying strong and working hard. It's going to be hard, yes, but like they say always, fake it till you make it. Be in your own delusional world and be your biggest cheerleader. If you believe you can, nobody can stop you. And I'll be here rooting for you too. We all are. And I only pray that we keep improving and becoming the best versions of ourselves. I think the biggest thing I had to let go of was my independence. I loved the UK. I loved being free. A year ago, I truly found myself again after a long healing journey. And it's sad to say goodbye to everything at the point where I finally felt like me again. It's a pity, but I'm still grateful it happened now instead of 2 or 6 years ago. Because the version of me now is more secure and loves herself more than I ever have in 25 years. Even though life turned out differently than planned, I can navigate it better and trust that no matter what happens, I still have me. And that gives me peace. Just that thought makes me hopeful for what's to come. This chapter deserves to fully close, to welcome new beginnings. Leaving unhappy memories behind physically has been healing for someone like me who holds sentimental value in everything. I view this change as God's way of making me choose myself, finally, for once, and leave that old version of me behind in the UK. I'm excited for new opportunities in career, in love, and in the person I'm becoming. On some days, it's still scary. There are downfalls, moments of doubt. But I trust that this version of me and the one I'm building will love myself even more through the insecure parts and my darkest days. And that excites me. Back in July, I received news that I was unsuccessful in my exam for the second time. What came after that were repeated rejections from jobs I applied to. It was a difficult period for me, mostly because of the thought that I might have to leave the UK. It felt like I was no longer in control of the perfect life I wanted to build. What helped me was acceptance and also knowing I tried my very best. As they say, it's not about what happens, it's about how you respond and get back up. That is strength. What gave me peace was also knowing that the worst thing that could happen was moving home. And it's not a bad thing. My family would always welcome me. I can always rebuild, even if it means starting again. So I made plan B. Plan A was to find a new job in the UK, continue my studies, and finish my ACCA. Plan B, if I couldn't find a job that could sponsor me, I will go back home and focus on my studies. Because life doesn't stop ticking, and if I didn't come up with another plan, I might miss out on what's next. The point I want to make is this. I know it's hard, but I hope this inspires you to keep going. No matter how tough or far the light at the end of the tunnel feels. Trust yourself and trust God. It will all turn out good. It can get tiring, so please be gentle with yourself along the way. A sad truth I've realized is that nothing we learn at school prepares us for navigating life when things fall apart. That's why I wanted to share this episode, as difficult and vulnerable as it is, so it can feel like a warm hug for anyone struggling right now. Because I know how it feels to be alone in a moment like this, even when you're surrounded by people who care. Sometimes they just can't relate, and it's not their fault, but that makes you feel isolated and lost. It's scary, I know. At first, I think I was numbing the feelings, which is why it didn't hit me fully. But now, I like to think it's because I've grown. I've become more mature and emotionally aware. And I'm proud of me for that. At the same time, I'm still learning not to blame myself. That's something I still struggle with. The self-blame, the maybe I wasn't good enough thoughts. But human and I'm a work in progress. On my bad days, I forgive myself, motivate myself, and shower myself with love and compassion. If there is one thing I want you to take away from today's episode, it's hope. No matter what happens, hold on to hope. Especially in today's world where social media makes us constantly compare ourselves and loneliness feels like an epidemic. I pray that whatever you're struggling with, it gets better soon. And if everyone turns their back on you, I hope you never do and continue to have confidence in yourself. The last person who should ever give up on you is you. It's also sad to see many from today's generation feel lost. I do too. I don't fully know what I want next in my career, and that scares me. But on those days, I remind myself of my dreams, revisit my passions, and trust that God will guide me towards what's meant for me. I remind myself that this sudden detour in my life doesn't mean failure. It's a redirection towards better things ahead. I'm honestly excited for what's to come, to learn more about myself, discover my next career path, open my heart to love again, and eventually settle down. Right now, my focus is on my studies, and I'm hoping to exam qualify in the next 6 months. Transitioning back to being a full-time student at 25 hasn't been easy, especially when everyone around you is younger. You can't help but feel behind sometimes, when everyone your age is qualified by now. And the course isn't easy. The jet lag definitely didn't help either. But things have gotten better, and I'm so grateful for the new friendships I've made. Their support has helped me truly in adapting to my new environment. Managing realistic expectations has also helped me to avoid putting too much pressure on myself. I remind myself if things don't go as planned again, it's not the end of the world. I can always find something else, maybe even something better. The worst case scenario, I don't pass my exams, and I decide ACC isn't for me. And that's okay. There will always be other paths, other things that can bring me happiness. So, if you're like me, someone who always expects perfection, I hope you start being kinder to yourself today. Know that you can always figure things out, even when life doesn't go as planned. Your mental health comes first, before any achievement. Please, take care of yourself with more love from now on. With that, I close this chapter with grace and fondness. I'm grateful for all the opportunities and even the shortcomings of the last 6 years. I have no regrets and I'm truly proud of the Bashusha I've now become. I'm excited for what's to come in the next 10 years. This was a vulnerable episode for me, but I hope by sharing my journey, it makes things feel less isolating for anyone out there on a similar path. Whether you're restarting at 25, 35, or even 55, I want you to know that you are not alone. There's someone out there, just like you, who's scared and lost, but still hopeful about life. We'll get through this together, no matter your story. Because it's in these moments that we truly grow and learn to spread love, not just to others, but to ourselves. Thank you to everyone who's been part of this journey. I hope the Better You podcast continues to bring you comfort and strength, just like it has for me. Whenever you feel down, feel free to revisit this episode for a little inspiration. Once again, this is Patricia, and if you like this episode or resonated with it in any way, don't forget to like, comment, and follow. Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye!